A teenager kidnapped and killed while running an errand on her way to church. Now, nearly 3 years later, the trial is underway for the men accused of killing Zoe Hastings. And one of the first people on the stand, Zoe's mother. Our Tanya Iser has been covering the trial. She joins us now live with more. Tanya?
Well, Cynthia, the judge is allowing cameras in this courtroom, but he is not allowing audio of the proceedings. So far, we've heard testimony from 9 witnesses, including the lead homicide detective, and as you mentioned, Zoe's mother, who undoubtedly is living every mother's worst nightmare. From the stand, Cheryl Hastings calmly described how her daughter went to drop off a movie and never returned home. When Zoe didn't return calls or texts, they grew increasingly worried. They reported her missing. Something was wrong for sure, she told jurors. The next morning, her and her husband used a phone app to track their daughter's phone. They drove up on the scene where their daughter's body had been found in a creek bed in Lake Highlands. The family minivan was nose first in the creek. Their daughter had been stabbed in the neck and sexually assaulted. Testing could not exclude Antonio Cochran as the contributor of that DNA. Prosecutors are seeking to convince a jury that Cochran killed her. Paramedics and police officers testified about finding Zoe's body lying face down in the creek bed. Lead homicide detective Scott Sayers told jurors that police know she returned the movie because of the timestamp. He told them they have no surveillance video of the abduction. Tattoo artist Lester Clark testified that he saw Hastings at the Red Box in the afternoon of her abduction. He says he saw her get back in the minivan. A man approached her driver's side door and grabbed the door, preventing her from driving off. The man got in the driver's seat and they drove off. He could not identify Antonio Cochran as that man, but this knife found at the crime scene is likely to be a key piece of evidence. Investigators found DNA on it belonging to Cochran. Cochran's defense attorneys told jurors they plan to offer a plausible explanation for why his DNA was on it. Well, today what we saw defense attorneys attempt to do was they tried to pick apart the prosecution's case, pointing out that none of Cochran's DNA was found in the Hastings minivan, and neither was his fingerprints, and there also was none of Hastings' DNA or fingerprints found inside Cochran's car. Obviously, the stakes are high in this case, and if he is convicted, he faces life in prison without parole. I'm live at the Dallas County Courthouse. Tanya Iser, Channel 8 News.
Tanya, thank you very much.